Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
I'm Todd Pleasant.
And I'm Brian Mix.
Hey, Brian.
And I'm here to set you guys straight.
Oh, please. And it's funny. Brian and I were talking about work stuff, and I said, we're doing Thunderbolts. If you've seen this weekend, come on the show. And then he sends this crazy email about his thoughts on The Last of Us, and it was too late to uninvite him. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But thank you for being here, Brian.
This show's either going to be an intervention for the three of us or an intervention for Brian. We haven't quite figured out.
We talked you into not liking The Last Jedi. We could do the same with Brian. Although Brian has strange sensibilities about stuff.
I would have come around to The Last Jedi.
Preloading your argument, Dave? Is this just like...
No, Joe versus the Volcano, one of the most important movies.
Great. No, it's not most important.
It is a great movie.
That was the theme.
You guys completely missed the point of that list. That list was movies you have to see, not a rearrangement of the top 100 movies.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Anyway. But, we'll actually, we haven't mentioned this, or maybe we did. If there's any model makers out there, we're going to be at Wonder Fest in Louisville at the end of the month, the very end of the month.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a model maker, it seems like there's an awful lot going on at that show. I mean, it's primarily for model
I'm not
building,
a model maker, but
there's actors are going to be there, and there's like people that are like in special effects are going to be there. So it sounds like it's going to be a great show.
Greg Nicotero's there. Judy from Lost in Space is there. Well, Judy was there last time, right, Brian?
Yep.
Why does
it's a regular show for her.
What makes her come?
Well, she used to come with the B9 builders when the B9 builders were going, and it was such a good show for her, she just kept coming.
Oh, that's cool. Is she from Louisville? I mean, you don't see her at other shows, really.
She lives in California, and I get lots of Lost in Space shows, so she's at a lot of Lost in Space.
Oh, okay. No, there you go.
And those are in Ohio, and there's one in Texas, and she comes to Louisville.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she would be good at like Rhode Island or something.
Yep.
I think people would appreciate that. But does she like sign autographs? And she sells autographs, or
yes.
Cool. I would get her autograph.
Yeah, me too.
Who else is it? Just her and all the kids are still alive, I guess, right?
Yes. Yeah, but she's the only one that shows up at that show.
Yeah. So her, and there's other people, and Nicotero, friend of the show, Greg Nicotero. Hopefully we'll talk to him again. We're bringing our recording stuff, so maybe we'll record. Where are we staying?
We are staying at what's it called? The Embassy Suites across the parking lot.
Across the parking, but
so you don't have to wait in line at the elevator.
Lobby of that building. We've not been kicked out of better hotels than that.
It is, Well, I got us one interview lined up already. So if we want.
Oh,
cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll be there. It's Wonderfest. It's in Louisville. I've never been to Louisville.
Daryl says there's lots of great restaurants. I've never been out of the building, so we'll see. Daryl, I hear now Daryl's not coming.
Daryl's not coming this time.
Yeah,
no.
We'll have to get a list.
We'll have to go to a restaurant. We need a Mexican place and a brewery. That's our standard.
Nicotero owns a Mexican restaurant, so it might be a good stop.
He owns one in Louisville?
Yep.
Him and someone else, right?
Daryl, the guy who played Daryl on the show.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah, that's odd. Why would you own a restaurant in Louisville if you live in California?
He loves that town, and he loves that. It's his favorite.
Why does Paul Rudd have a candy store in upstate New York?
He has a house there.
Yeah, but he doesn't live there full time, does he?
I think he lives there. Him and Negan both live up there. In Rhinebeck. That was the big thing.
I guess as long as it's a popular city where you're going to have foot traffic, that's where you put a restaurant.
Yeah, good for him. Well, that sounds like the place to go. We should probably book early.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, let's do some random. Barry, what do you got?
Well, I figured, we should talk a little bit about yesterday was May the 4th, so Star Wars Day as we record this.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the Thunderbolts today. I didn't think I mentioned that. And there's going to be spoilers, so be prepared.
Okay. Yes. Not spoilers for Star Wars Day since it's already passed, but I was shocked yesterday when I was out and about on Long Island, on the Long Island Expressway. All of the electronic signs
It was a New York State thing because I had.
Was it New York State? Yeah, they were all doing Yoda and Star Wars.
Massachusetts did it again
messages.
too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. I didn't know about it.
Solo down.
Yep.
Yeah, I just sent you guys in the text chat. It was light speed can wait. Buckle up, young Skywalker.
Yeah.
And Solo says slow down.
Wow.
There was one that was I forget
It was
the
a
Yoda
one.
Yeah, but it was funny. It was great. It was nice to see. Like,
yeah, I saw it on the Taconic yesterday.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention about Star Wars Day, which I texted you guys, Bill Shatner never ceases to amaze me and continue to remind me about why I love him and how cool he is. He sent out a note on his social media. He said, "I want to make things clear. Who's your daddy, Star Wars? Me. Love, Daddy Bill." And it was a picture of him saying, and the text read, "Remember, Star Wars fans, without the Federation, you wouldn't be here. We are your father. May the Fourth be with you. Love, Starfleet." Bill Shatner's the best. 93, 94 years old. Still.
Enough about me. Now let's talk about me. Now say what you think of me.
Yes, exactly.
He always finds a way of just kind of bringing it back around.
But, you would think he doesn't need to do that, but it's just awesome that he does. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Did you guys have any Star Wars Day related stuff? Or
In my house, we're Orthodox Star Wars, so we celebrate on the 25th.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
That makes
I
sense.
like that.
Yeah.
I didn't have any. I mean, I bought some stuff, but
See, I didn't make any purchases because I tried, but the thing I wanted I couldn't get. So
yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Next week because it's supposed to come tomorrow.
have you seen a picture of the box? It's gigantic.
I heard it was gigantic. Yeah.
One
Tom,
of
what
the
do you
cool
got?
things I sent to you guys was that on Google, if you in a Chrome search window, if you use Google search and you search for Star Wars or Andor or a couple other things, it would rain Star Wars confetti, which was kind of cool. Including
Yeah, that was cool.
little tiny baby Yodas and stuff like that. So
And it worked on the mobile browser as well because I did it on my phone.
I did it on my phone at work.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, I discovered that late in the day, and it was interesting what things would work and what things wouldn't. Because, like I said, Andor worked and Ahsoka wouldn't, but
Well, Andor has to work someplace because it doesn't as a show.
Okay, I'm sorry,
What?
Barry. I didn't mean to start that.
You walked right into that.
Sorry. Okay. So, hey.
La 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 la.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
So, something I never tire of talking about.
Daredevil.
No, Buffy the Vampire Slayer revival. This was kind of cool. There's a whole bunch of things that have allegedly leaked online saying who the characters are going to be and what the plot, how the plot's driven. And Sarah Michelle Gellar did a interview where she said, it's all bullshit. She says she's read everything online and she says nothing has any correlation to anything that they're talking about. And that things are in production, in pre-production and moving forward, but this is all BS.
Good for her.
And yeah, that's what I thought too. She's a producer on the show, and instead of just sitting there and like being mum about it and whatever, just like fans have their ideas, but this is not what it is, and you're not going to know what it is till you see it. So, yeah, I think that's awesome. These are all fake characters. The thing that got released is all fake. Quote. So, yeah, kind of cool.
Good.
Brian, what do you got?
I was up at the set a couple weeks ago, meeting with
The Star Trek tour
the
set.
Star Trek tour set.
If you're
For
there
those
as
of us
much
who
as
don't-
Brian,
those who don't live there.
Yeah.
they just call it
To
the
Brian,
set.
it's just the set.
The set. David Gerald was giving the triples tour, and I was watching him do that and talking to him about a couple of things. But he had given James boxes. I mean, a tall pile of file boxes of all of his memos to Gene Roddenberry from
Wow.
Next Generation.
Well, I guess
And-
there's someplace they
God,
could
that's gotta have
go.
been frustrating.
And some from the original series, and we found in a folder marked Space Seed an outline written by Philip Jose Farmer called Rebels Unthawed, which was they find a spaceship with frozen Civil War veterans. who think the war is still going. They were abducted by aliens and frozen. They unfreeze them, and they're still at war with each other.
Oh, really?
And
that's cool.
They try to settle the war with them, and then they end up putting them on another planet to go start a new civilization. So it's Space Seed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's very much the very beginning, the very seeds of Space Seed. And it was a outline, and it was to Gene Roddenberry from Philip Jose Farmer, and no one's ever mentioned it. Corey Wilbur wrote the story and script for Space Seed, but he must have seen this because it's so similar. But that was fascinating.
Or, as was the case, Gene Roddenberry went to this other dude and said, "Hey, I have this idea."
Very possible. Very
because
possible.
that's notoriously for Next Generation. He had all these people come in and pitch ideas to him. He would turn them down, and then he would go to the writer's room and say, "Hey, what about this? And what about this?" And yeah,
I have to say, based on that information, I kind of like the direction they went in better than Civil War veterans got abducted by aliens and were frozen, and I kind of like the eugenics war thing and Khan and all that better.
I think they could live side by side. I'm surprised Next Gen didn't do it or something. That would have been
Next
cool.
Gen did the thing where they thought out the cryogenic people that a really forgettable first season episode with where they found a ship with people frozen cryogenically, and
one guy was like a car salesman, or
right? Yeah, he's like some
kind
of financier, and then another one was a mom, and it was
David Gerald wrote the Bible for Next Gen.
Yeah,
and it's really interesting stuff. Seeing it kick back and forth. I found a memo from Bob Justman of all people saying they should not use Dr. McCoy in the first episode of Next Gen.
Oh,
they shouldn't cross the streams at all.
Yep.
Oh my God!
I always thought it was Roddenberry that was against it, but no, it was Justman, because this was a memo to Roddenberry from Justman saying we cannot do this. We should not use any of the original cast members. Obviously, he was overridden.
Good.
Yeah,
well, good that he was
together.
That was a great little cameo.
Yeah.
But interesting history in these boxes that James is digging up, and he
posted about it too. I think I saw it. He showed some of the boxes and stuff. That's cool. Speaking of Buffy reboot, a more important reboot happening, Little House on the Prairie. They're actually, I'm surprised it's not a Broadway play, but they're rebooting Little House on the Prairie. A
musical, yeah.
It's so funny to see pictures of they just announced the actors today, and there's some hot redhead in this low cut top. I'm like, that's going to be the mom. It's just odd to see that kind of thing. Shocking they haven't done that. But seriously, so apparently Jeremy Renner was offered Hawkeye season 2 and turned it down because they offered him half the money he made from season 1.
Why do you think that was?
Because he was because he got hit by a snowcat. That's what he said.
Because he was going to be a drastically reduced part of that.
Oh.
I actually think it's because they have so overspent on these shows that they're now trying to figure out a way to do these shows for less money.
I would bet you that they expected this to be 85% her and 15% him. And that was the idea moving forward, is that they were going to focus on the younger character, and he was going to be a supporting character. I bet you that's more what was happening.
Oh, he didn't get into those details.
No, he didn't. But it just seems to me.
Go ahead.
You're going to call him?
No.
And ask? You can call her and ask.
And I know
I have her number.
I get that they want to spend less on these things, but if up front they came in offering him half, you got to think that there was a reason for that.
He's probably not number one on the call sheet anymore either, which might be.
I could see getting less money if you were going to be less screen time, but who knows?
Well, but the actress Claire Kuhn, who was in The White Lotus, she was in one of the Marvel movies, and she said that they basically offered for her to come back, but they wouldn't pay her. You can still be in the Marvel movie, but we're not going to pay you. and they thought that she would do it just out of the not wanting somebody else to play her role, and she was like, "No, I'm not doing it for free." So I just wonder if for some of these other parts, they're just looking to pay less money. Than
it sounds like the bean counters, but who knows? I'd like to see a season 2. I thought that's one of the best Marvel movies, or one of the good ones.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, but at the end of the day,
shows,
they can carry on with just Haley Steinfeld if they wanted, and do it without him. And while I'd like to see him,
I think you need him in some capacity. I mean, who knows? But in the scheme of all the money, what are they? How much are they paying him? I mean, who knows? But
look at how much they've done on TV, and Feige said recently, he's like, we're going to scale it back to maybe 2 shows a year now. We're not going to do as much as we were doing. I think that they've realized they've overspent.
2 shows in addition to Daredevil, because they're going to do Daredevil. There's a season of Daredevil that's going to come out exactly 1 year after this season. So maybe there's only going to be 1 other show next year. Yeah, that'd be surprising. That would be really surprising.
Well, if they would stop sucking Robert Downey Jr.'s ass and giving him tens of millions of dollars, there'd be more money to go around.
Okay, I will say that so far, that's all come back to them. Okay, so we'll see how this goes, but up till now, he's been a good investment for them.
Here's your choice. Everybody answer this. Robert Downey Jr. is not in Doomsday, and you get a season 2 of Daredevil. Which do you prefer?
Daredevil or Hawkeye?
I meant Hawkeye. Sorry.
That's what I thought you meant.
Sorry.
Okay.
I know that's triggering.
Oh, yeah, I'll take Hawkeye.
No, you're getting a season 2 of Daredevil no matter what.
No matter what.
Season 2 of Hawkeye, and they take Robert Downey Jr.
I have no anxiety about a season 2 of Hawkeye. In fact, I would look forward to a season 2 of Hawkeye. I am anxious about what
we've talked about that.
I have a theory about the Robert Downey Jr. factor, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Like at the end of the movie we're about to talk about.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. Interesting. Okay. Any other random?
Yeah, I got one more quick one. Wolfgang Van Halen, son of Eddie Van Halen, has a new song that came out last week called The End. It's like a 3.5-minute song with a video directed by Robert Rodriguez and Greg Nicotero. It's a 6.5-minute video for a 3.5-minute song.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's werewolves and zombies, and
nice.
It's really good. Like, I would recommend watching it. And it's got a lot of throwbacks to like the Michael Jackson Thriller video, including the final shot where Wolfgang turns his head and his eyes turn into cat's eyes, like at the end of the Thriller video. And even like the littlest detail, like in the Thriller video, the cat's eyes were slightly offset and not like where they should be, and they did the exact same thing.
That's funny.
This. So like it's good. It's basically like a dusk till dawn type story, but well done. And yeah, Robert Rodriguez and Greg Nicotero did all the effects and directed it. So good stuff.
Oh, that sounds good. You know, this is good. Fanboy Collectibles. Talking about Star Wars, there's a ton of stuff up for pre-order and even stuff in stock. So, stuff for pre-order: Hot Toys, Palpatine, Darth Nihilus, life-size Grogu, Jar Jar Binks, Poe Dameron, all up for pre-order. That's a lot coming out.
And I'm just going to say, finally, on Poe Dameron. It's been years.
Oh, I think you say finally Jar Jar.
Well,
Jar Jar.
no.
Jar Jar has, I think, weathered time better because Star Wars fans like Ahmed best.
But they've been showing us Poe Dameron prototypes for 5 years.
Yeah.
So
that's all up for pre-order.
That Luke Skywalker premium format figure with the X-Wing is spectacular.
30 by 21 by 17.
Huge.
That's
it's
a
huge.
Big freaking piece.
It's amazing, though, if you've got the space for it. It looks
You're going to have one statue and one Star Wars statue. That is the one.
It's not even a statue. His thing is all fabric. His uniform is all fabric.
Yeah, it's like mixed media, but look at the pictures, people. It's great. Whether you
the head sculpt is something else. If you have the means, I highly recommend
it.
Hono Toys, Darth Vader from Rebels. Iron Studios Anakin, they got all kinds of Star Wars. So if you're looking to, you missed out celebrating Star Wars Day, go pre-order something.
I
But
love
not
that the
that, that's
Rebels
just,
Darth Vader has basically the helmet from the art. The art. That's just awesome.
They've got a really cool Iron Studios G.I. Joe Cobra Commander statue. Too.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
and in stock, Sabine Wren from Ahsoka.
Yep, lots of stuff. Plus Pops and Hasbro and Kotobuki, everything you need. Check those guys out. FanboyCollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut, and tell them the Regular Joe sent you.
And hey, if anybody needs a display or a plaque for a prop or a collectible, where do they go?
Where do they go, Barry?
They go to From Dave's Workshop,
FromDavesWorkshop.com.
Reach out to Dave, the proprietor. I hear he's a good guy, not negative at all, very positive. And
that's obviously commercial advertising never tells the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
But
he'll hook you up.
I'll hook you up. So check me out. FromDaysWorkshop.com. You could email me. FromDaysWorkshop@gmail.com. Happy to. Brian and I consulted on something. He's the electronics whiz, so I needed a couple of tips, and he helped me out. But lots of cool stuff on the table. I'm trying to post most of it. Most everyone's been cool about me posting the stuff. So on my Facebook and Instagram, I just posted this giant Daredevil thing I did. 30
that was
by
massive, that piece.
60 inches by 20 inches. And some other stuff. So check me out on the socials and check out I try to update the website as I get stuff done. But yeah, so let us know. Okay, Thunderbolts. Or do we want, Brian, do you want to talk about The Last of Us? I'll give you I'll give you 30 seconds. No, we'll give you a couple minutes.
Let me first say that the only thing longer than the Andor dance party was listening to you guys talk about the Andor dance party. That went on forever.
I told you that there's a 60-minute version of it on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
I was looking for that after watching the next three, but go ahead.
Andor is I don't think Andor is Star Wars. Andor is a great science fiction show, but it's not Star Wars. There's no Jedis. There's no space battles.
Wait a minute! I thought we were talking about The Last of Us. Now,
this is a bait. It's a bait and switch. Brian hate Andor. Screw you guys.
Brian's open mic. We beat to
him. We're going to spend more time with Andor than we did with Han, Luke, and Leia, and we know way more about them than we know about him.
For sure.
It's like I would much rather it was the other way around. That's enough about Andor. Last of Us, first season was good. Second season, the first episode was dreadful. Almost didn't watch the second episode because the first episode was just teenage angst and girls doing stupid things. And I hate characters that are supposed to be smart being that stupid. And then they kill the main character of the show, which I guess I know was planned. I didn't know it was planned, but it's like I said in the text, it's Rick leaving the show.
It's not Rick leaving
and
the
I don't
show.
think any of us knew it was planned because none of us played the game.
None of us played the game.
It wasn't spoiled for any of us, But
I know, and Dave says it's one of the best episodes he's ever seen, and I agree. It was a really good episode, and mark my words, it's the best episode of the show, and it will remain that way. They're all going to be worse after it. The show has jumped the shark when they kill the only character you really like.
And I think okay, you've only watched the first two,
right?
Where's everyone else?
I've seen the third. I haven't seen the one from last night.
Yeah,
I have seen the fourth, but I mean, well, I won't. If you haven't seen the fourth, that one.
I will. I mean, I'll say I thought the third was a very good episode.
I thought the third was good.
I didn't think it dropped off at all.
The fourth does not slow down. I'm telling you, they are making television the right way.
So here's the thing: life does not follow the path that we always want. Okay, and if this show was predictable and entirely about sustaining the characters, and if that's what you want, that's fine. But it's like, I honestly feel that was very daring of them. I think they took a huge risk in doing this, that exactly Drew said, that Pete's going to alienate people and they're going to walk away from it. they didn't do the bullshit Walking Dead thing and tease it and tease it and tease it and tease it and then follow through. It just happened. And
or have the main character leave and then come back.
But I also think that the way he had him die, the way he died without, like I said, and I keep thinking of this, without ever explaining why he did what he did.
That was a great point you made on the show.
Is a defining mark of that character. Okay, that man spent the entire last decade of his life atoning for losing his daughter. Okay, and made up for it by protecting this young woman who became his daughter, in every way but biologically. And I think that, like I said, that is about what that's about. And I think it's brilliant, and I think it was ballsy. And I do see how it would turn people off, but I'm super impressed with it. I really am.
And I think if the storyline for the game had been one thing, and then in the show they just decided to kill him off like that, it would have been one thing totally different. But I mean, this is the storyline that they're following from the game. It's not like they decided to just completely, go right when it should have gone left.
Could have been very much the same thing. Right, we could be at the end of the season saying, well, it's a whole lot like season 1. She gets in trouble, he rescues her. He gets in trouble, she rescues him. It's like now all bets are off. I find that really interesting and compelling. But
this is a game that we're
connection to the game whatsoever.
Yeah,
and we're talking about a game that is universally acclaimed for the storyline in the game. So
millions of people, and that's one of the things that just I mentioned that last week, but it just blows me away that everyone didn't go into 2 weeks ago knowing what they were going to see. That's amazing to me. So,
and I think
to that fan base.
Having watched 3 and 4, I mean, no offense to Pedro, he's a little all everywhere. I'm a little sick of him and Giancarlo Esposito, both of them. Even though
you're getting Jeffrey Wright to make up for it.
Exactly. Here's another guy I'm sick of. He's in everything.
There's like a rule that says you have to have, if you don't have Jeffrey Wright or Giancarlo Esposito,
you gotta
or Pedro, you can't make the show because
I do
one
agree
of the
with
three of them is in everything.
I do agree with you, Dave, that Pedro Pascal is not going to be a great Dr. Fantastic. It was like, really?
I saw the trailer before Thunderbolts, and I don't.
Yeah.
Him or that Sue Storm, whatever her name is, they do not fit into that universe at all. But
no, the beard in the 60s, it's like what is he, a beatnik?
It's not our 60s. He spends way too much time in the lab. He doesn't spend a lot of time thinking about grooming.
And the other thing is he's not even doing The Last of Us anymore, so you don't need that beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe his hot wife likes the beard, and that's why he has it.
Yep.
His hot wife who looks like she's out of the 2000s.
Yeah.
She doesn't look at all like, no one had hair like that in the 60s. Anyway, Brian Todd proved you're wrong. Jory says Last of Us is good.
Let's take a revote, guys. Just Brian may have changed our opinion. Okay.
It was just too torture porny, and I really like that character a lot. I'm really mad that they killed him.
Yeah, I agree.
It's funny how he was a bit marginalized in the first episode, and I didn't see anything coming. But I'm watching 3 and 4. I watched last night, and they're often running into the continuation of the storyline, and they're not looking back. So.
I like that character a lot too, and I thought he was kind of the heart of the show. So I think it's interesting that they're going to completely change the show for season 2.
However, when I hear you guys say they air the episode where they kill Abby, I'll come find that episode and watch that one.
Okay. You'll watch it a couple times.
That one
I think
I think the pinnacle of his arc was the assault on Salt Lake. I think that was when he had, basically that character had fulfilled his role.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Yeah.
But I still, like I said, I've watched last night, and it's by far the best thing on television, in my opinion.
And we don't need to get into like deep in the Andor right now, but a character died in one of the most recent episodes, and it's like you saw that coming. So, yeah. You saw that coming so far. It was just like, oh God.
But
like,
I was saying that. Go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying it's like it is so nice, so refreshing to see something written in a way where you're mentally saying, "Oh, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. No, this can't happen."
Oh yeah.
Versus like,
time going, okay, what? And like Dave said, they show her in the first episode learning how to fight. I thought for sure she was going to come in there and
absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
And then she totally didn't.
Everything that
I was up until the second before. No, even after the thing was in his neck, I'm like, she's going to beat everyone's ass.
Yeah.
When what you think is going to happen doesn't happen, and what you want to have happen doesn't happen. Okay, that's.
And you're on your edge.
It's hard to do that today. It is really hard to do that today with as much media as we've all consumed, and like I said, a lot of deaths are predictable. A lot of plots are predictable. This is neither. Neither of these things are okay. I still continue to be very impressed with what they did, and
it's okay. It's zombies. All of this it boils down to storytelling. You know, the screenwriting and the directing. And everyone's all acting and everything is good. I mean, Diego Luna's. Let's put and it's not like, oh, it's more exciting because there's zombies. It's not more. It's more exciting because the story is being told the right way,
absolutely,
and the direction is the right way, and no one learns from these people.
Yeah.
And the thing, Barry, that I meant that Todd brought up, the girl who died in Andor, why the direction I think is poor. Certainly, it stands out in that episode. I had to sort of almost rewind and be like, wait, what just happened? You don't have an accidental shooting and all of a sudden then you show the person dead who hasn't been seen on screen for 5 minutes. You know?
I mean, no, it was more a matter of like when the two of them reconciled, when the two of them got back together, I was like, oh, I said,
of course. You saw her.
Oh, yeah, she's dead. They just painted a big target on the middle of her back.
But just in terms of how they showed that,
I know,
it was just so, and you also didn't know the guy who interrupted them. Where was he? You thought he was still in helping carry the girl, but it was actually the other dude. He was
somebody they left out of the. He was one of the people that was. But
he was at the town hall meeting, and he was.
No, I know that. Vocal. But then the guy who sort of looks like that guy, it was just they were crossing the plane of the camera and. They should have foreshadowed that woman being even anywhere near that. It just was.
Again,
I think we're watching very different shows.
I would say one of the things I like about that show.
Barry's watching with his Star Wars goggles.
They do not hand everything to you. They do not explain everything to you, and you got to follow and you got to piece things together. And I do like that. I would say that was a rare instance of, like I said, I was like, oh, Jesus, yeah.
At least they give you lots and lots of time to piece those pieces together.
It was like, oh, yeah, she's Goose right now. She's just, And it was, did you think that, Barry, did you at all suspect that she was going to die?
I had a feeling that she might. I didn't know if it would be in this arc or in the future. But, I mean, one by one, these pieces need to start falling, right?
No, absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. We're halfway through and nothing has... We're on to Andor.
I disagree before you even go, I disagree that nothing has happened. I think a lot of the groundwork has been laid.
For a galaxy-wide rebellion, there
isn't really a galaxy-wide rebellion.
The story is about one
there absolutely is.
From being a dude, as I said, who's completely out for himself to being all in on this.
All right, we got that.
And he is all in to the point that he will sacrifice his life for this.
Not for the rebels on Gondor. They're nah.
Well, no, but it's Gondor.
Gorman. It's Gorman.
Sorry.
So Gondor is Lord of the Rings.
No, it's not that. He's the one who's saying these people are going to get themselves killed. They're not ready for this. Okay.
And Luthen that's kind of what Luthen wants, though. They need.
Oh, he does. They have two different purposes, Barry. I agree.
Very much so.
He wants them to get crushed in a big way, so that everyone sees this and is appalled, and
it needs to be a planet that's not an outer rim planet, that is a very wealthy planet that is going to get enough attention, whether it goes terribly or whether it goes well. It's going to get attention, and that's what they need.
This is the planet France, okay? I mean, if you didn't get that by the fact that they speak a different language, we've never really seen humans subtitled before, okay?
And the costumes are very much like French resistance fighters.
They're wearing freaking berets, okay? Okay,
I know. It's a little heavy-handed.
It's very French resistance, proto-French resistance kind of thing. But it's going to be this. It's the same thing. It is this cultural center that everyone in the universe knows about that is going to be crushed, and one person thinks it's good that will happen because it's going to get people's back up against the Empire, and the other person thinks his job is to help them succeed.
I think they're thinking way too small. This is a galaxy. There's got to, what Bix and Andor did at the end of the show should be going on throughout a dozen
Dave,
planets.
If you look at the
rebellion,
look at the rebellion in Rogue One and where we start with them in A New Hope. It's not a gigantic force. It's a relatively small group of rebels that have banded
Luke
together.
Knows about it, and he's in the Outer Rim. You know about the rebellion
because this is years down the line, and we
got 3 years to go, and we haven't really seen anything yet.
I mean, this is very analogous to the resistance in World War II. Okay, and this is exactly what it is. It's small cells that are not trusting of other cells and reach out and get support and have their own plans. And then you get Saul Guerrera, who is really Che Guevara, but again, all these kind of disparate things have to come together and coalesce, but he may not live to see that happen. It may not be that. It's
well, it is, but we know what happens.
But I'm saying this could be, like I said, this is just kind of that slow build up to that, and you're seeing it through one person or a handful of people.
But in Rogue One, we see Cassian and Mon Mothma together. We don't see any of these other characters. So something in the next 6 episodes is going to get us to that point where most of these other characters are either going to be off on other missions or most likely dead.
But we've wasted 6 episodes really not getting anywhere. It's been a waste of 6 episodes.
I don't think we've wasted 6 episodes.
Okay, there may or may not be something going on in Gorman, and then.
Well, but there was a Gorman massacre years prior to this, right? Where Tarkin landed a ship on top of 500 people. So this is already a planet where the Empire has already done things that are like really problematic.
And they're gun shy about doing it again without a provocation.
That's right. And the Empire had promised not to, do what they're doing right now. And so they're centering it on this planet because this is going to be the powder keg that really, brings in planets that are sitting on the fence right now saying, well, all the bad stuff's happening out in the Outer Rim. That's not happening here in the central systems. This is going to be in a well-to-do central system. And it's going to change things.
The official
happened in the first episode.
I'd be on board, Barry, but it's not a novel. It's Star Wars. Yeah. I mean, look at the pace of the other movies.
But this is
but look at the pace of season 1 of Andor. This is not the if you were expecting a much faster pace.
The season 1 established his built yet a big character arc. We're done with character arcs and we're done with slow burn. We got 12 episodes to get from minor rebellion to major rebellion, and
I don't think that was
they haven't done
promised.
It yet.
I do not think that was what was promised.
I didn't say that was promised.
I'm
saying that's what they should have done.
I don't think the rebellion in A New Hope is a major rebellion. It's still a relatively small.
Absolutely is.
It is a small band.
It's a small band.
Then why does everybody know about it?
I don't think everybody knows about it. There's whispers out there. Why does Luke
know about it in the middle of nowhere?
Hang on. Luke thinks he's going to the Academy, which is an Imperial Academy.
Exactly. You know about the rebellion against the Empire?
Yeah, but in the scene that was cut out at the beginning of Star Wars, Biggs is saying he's graduating from the Academy and he's going to go join the Rebel Alliance. And they can't believe he's
the Academy was not.
But they cut the scene out of the movie.
Right.
Yeah, that was a little misleading. He was never joining the
I just don't
Rebels.
think that the rebellion at the start of A New Hope is as big as you're thinking it is. Dave.
I don't think so either. I actually think destroying
That's the whole
Death
basis
Star.
of the freaking.
I think
By the
destroying
time we get to
wall.
Return of the Jedi, they've got a
Yes.
fleet. They don't
Okay.
have a rebel
Yes.
fleet in
I
A New
think
Hope.
destroying
What's
the
on
Death
Yavin?
Star was a
The
Hail
whole
Mary
fleet
pass
on Yavin.
that coalesced everything. All
You guys
the
are
things behind
rewriting
it.
But
Star
hang
Wars
on,
now.
they don't have a fleet at Yavin. They have like a couple of Y-wings and like 10 X-wings. That's literally all they
Yep,
have.
I agree.
And they got lucky.
Yep.
And the
they got lucky. That's
princess
what I'm saying.
and stealing the
This
Death
was a-
Star. And
This was a
the
Hail Mary
Tantive.
pass that coalesced all these disparate efforts together and got them to push forward.
You're
And
rewriting Star Wars,
No,
Dave.
I think you're rewriting Star Wars to make a mediocre show sound better.
Forget about the show. I'm just
about the show. No,
focusing on what I saw in A New Hope when I've watched it 1,000 times. There's no giant rebel alliance
no,
there.
it's not. This is the
I think there's a bigger rebellion than we're seeing.
And if they could have wiped out Yavin 4, the entire rebellion would have been shut down.
Well, we've still got how many years to the Battle of Yavin? Is it 7 or is it
now,
3?
three.
Now,
We're
is it
3 years
There's
away.
3 years to go. Okay.
I don't know. I just think they're doing character study in a slow burn. I mean,
Yep.
Bix is a drug addict, which went nowhere.
I think the whole thing in
Go
Rogue
stop.
One, the whole thing is they need a win in Rogue One. Okay? And I don't think that would be the case if the rebellion was strong and thriving. And I think they're back on their heels.
No, and if you look at what goes
Oh,
on
it's
in
not
the
strong, but at least
Nope.
it's. I think it's.
but look at what
turned
goes on
into
in the
something.
war room scene in Rogue One. They can't even decide whether they're going to go on this mission or not because they're so afraid of dividing up the little bit of forces that they have.
One major loss
and losing
set them
people.
back. Yeah,
I agree with Barry and Dave. It is a small group now that's disorganized, and they're just getting organized for the Battle of Yavin. And I agree with Dave. It's a slow burn. Star Wars is not a slow burn show. It's just not supposed to be.
And don't talk shit about my girl Bix.
She did look nice in that green tank
with-
top. That was the highlight
I'm with
of those
Barry
3
on that
episodes.
one. I gotta say, I'll back Barry up on that point. Again. I think
if we're complaining, the whole Mon
were you
Mothra,
complaining, Dave? I didn't pick up on that.
the whole Mon Mothra nuanced led to nothing in the next 3 episodes. They wasted all that, her angst and all the bullshit of like why she's.
It didn't need to lead to anything in the next 3 episodes. It led to the fact that she's 100% all in and she's given
They're
up.
wasting episodes. There got to be something more exciting to see.
I think some of us just like a more nuanced performance than others. That's all.
Don't you want to see something more exciting?
I'm
most
loving
exciting
every
thing-
minute of it. I'm not complaining about this show at all.
I know that's the problem. You should be
not a
complaining.
problem.
I will.
You
say,
should want more out
think
of this show.
I understand the criticisms. I do like the show. I am enjoying the show. I understand that this criticisms, but that's because people are comparing it to other things. And again, I've said this for 3 years now. This is a lot more like reading a novel than watching a movie. Okay. It is slow character building, different things in the background coming together. I think the last 5 minutes of this arc was absolutely phenomenal.
We
And
need
could
more
not-
of that.
Could not have been better. But I'm saying
Yeah.
both that she did what she had to do to get past what was basically crippling her, and the fact that you were like, oh my God, she's going to get caught leaving, all this kind of stuff. And then you realize that he is with her, but he knows that she's going to do this on her own. He's her backup.
But
He's in there mining the building while she's taking this guy out, because if he took him out or if he was there, it wouldn't do what she needed.
But
Brilliant. It was
and
brilliant.
Luthen recognized that she was where she was mentally was a problem, and he could either have taken her out, but instead, because Cassian is so important to him, he knew he needed to keep Bix in a good place, so he gave Bix the mission that he hoped would set her back on the right path. And clearly, I think it did.
That's why they wasted that whole episode of her being a drug addict. It went nowhere. All of a sudden, it's resolved, which is fine. But don't give us a character study. Give us more. The only exciting parts of this has been the first 5 minutes of the first episode and the last 5 minutes of the 6th episode. Everything in between has been just slow.
So disagree that it's okay, Dave. It's all right.
It can't all be the same. it just can't all be the same.
I just want more of that's not just like, oh my God, we're
look at how much action you got in The Acolyte. Was that a good show? No.
An example of how
I want good storytelling and I want good action. I want everything. I don't think
example of how it all can be the same is Thunderbolts.
That's our Thunderbolts discussion. Everybody.
Yeah, I thought we were not talking about Andor this week, but
Brian's
is more of the same Marvel goodness you always were hoping for. It's funny, it's serious, it's action packed.
Wait, is he
got great characters?
Is he serious? Are you being serious?
Yes.
You didn't like
okay. I wasn't sure if you were, because you're smirking as you're saying it. I thought
no. That's because
he's smirking because he's dragging us back onto the topic. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
I agree with everything Brian trying to get us back on track.
I will say, people criticize Marvel movies, tear them apart endlessly. Okay, because
we're some of those people.
No, but I'm saying, 36 films in, 36 films
really?
in,
36.
Pretty damned hard in 20 years. It's pretty hard to do something original, okay, and something that's going to resonate with people in a way that nothing else ever has, and they just did that.
Yeah,
and I think that's brilliant, utterly brilliant. And I also think they did it in a way that will probably not be the blockbuster commercial success that it could have been if they did they tried something else. But
I think that's more about the environment.
I know that.
If this came out pre-COVID, it'd be a $200 million movie. Opening.
I think this is. I also think this has got a ways to go, though. I don't think this is. I mean,
there's going to be word of mouth on
more
this,
money
and
than
I
this
think it's going to have a few good weeks. It's not just going to be one opening weekend.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
A Brave World had a better opening and got killed by word of mouth. The word of mouth is just grow. I mean, it's funny that if you go online, there's like 2 or 3 bad reviews, and then there's really a ton of really good reviews, including New York Times and a few other places like that.
And 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't trust them. And 94 audience.
And then
yet I saw a headline today
people saying, if you don't like this film, you're not getting it. Okay.
But I saw a headline today that talked about how it was a box office bomb, which is ridiculous. It's not.
I saw a bunch of headlines that said it's a box office success.
I know, it's just you can't trust.
No, you can't.
This was on Hollywood Reporter. They were like, it's a success.
Yeah, you have, but if you're a Marvel fan and if you've been disappointed with the direction Marvel's taken and you're on the fence about seeing Thunderbolts, go see it.
It's everything Brian said. It's fun. There's action. There's good characters.
It is Guardians of the Galaxy. I know. It is one Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
It is the closest to that formula of any.
I think it's even smaller than that. It's a nice,
it is smaller than that, but it's
like a Winter Soldier kind of more compact story.
Yes,
but there were stakes too. There were stakes in this.
Oh yeah. Todd, is Void in the comic book?
Yes, Void is.
Okay.
So Void is exactly, they super compressed this, but in the comics, Sentry was a hero, okay, with this basically split personality thing, okay, and Void basically made everyone forget he existed, okay. So this guy like predated all the other heroes. He was out there. He was like, he's kind of like the equivalent of like Shazam or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But Void was so powerful that it basically made everyone forget that he existed. Okay. So he was just a crazy person who crazy, like kind of quasi homeless person who surprised actually had superpowers.
It's a really interesting idea that what happens if you give someone who's schizophrenic superpowers by accident.
And that was the way they addressed that, and having the assistant bring that up, say basically it's like, told us again that Captain America was not Captain America. Okay, which is an abject lesson you see every time, John Walker's on screen. But the reason Captain America was Steve Rogers was the person that he was. Okay. Yeah. It wasn't the super soldier serum. It was the combination of those two things. Yeah. And when you take someone who's emotionally imbalanced and you give them superpowers, you're screwed. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's just, there's no two ways around it. And But the absolute perfect solution for somebody who's unbalanced and messed up and depressed and totally driven by, all these other things is to throw a group of people at them that are the same way. I mean, it's just, it's accidentally throw a group.
But it's really interesting when you think about, like, he was in a box to be destroyed.
Yeah.
When they find him, and Valentina isn't even aware that he's
they don't
in there.
even remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought that was clever. I thought I think they did a really great job putting this really odd group of people together, a la Guardians, okay, and giving them a situation where they've got to survive. They've got to work together to survive. Ghost was a much better character than she ever was, previously. Red Guardian was great in some ways. It was kind of the glue that held everything together.
Can we talk for a minute about, like, they built up who the cast was for us all the way into this, and in the opening, basically the opening action set piece, they killed Taskmaster.
They killed Taskmaster.
I didn't love I was fine that she got it. I just didn't. It seemed too soon, and they kind of just walked past it. I don't know. I didn't love that.
I was okay with that because it set it up from the beginning that there were stakes in that.
Beginning, and I'll tell you,
going to be losses.
Okay. You keep her around, and you've got Russian assassin, okay, Russian assassin, and Russian superhero. Okay, they had to kind of take at least.
I don't have a problem with them getting rid of her. It just was. It could have been a little. I bet there was stuff they cut out. It should have been a little better.
Oh, there was supposed to be. I read it. There was a whole. The producers come out and said there was a thing where they had her had very tenacious grip on memory, where she introduced her, like John Walker met her 3 times in the course of the scene. It's like, we were just talking, it's like,
oh, okay.
So, she's so messed up from all the stuff they've done to her that basically.
But I think it worked in the context of, at that point, they hadn't kind of connected all the dots of what was going on. So, each one of them thought they were there to kill one of the other ones. And, she died before.
And all making nice immediately does not work. Okay, there had to be consequences to that, and there was, and also,
she was the most expendable one, quite honestly.
Was by far the most expendable one, and you had to establish that D'Allegra, anyways, was bad. Okay, you had to. This couldn't just without question. You had to establish how evil Julia Louis-Dreyfus is.
I would have liked them to establish her a little more so you actually care, and then sort of feel bad about what happened. Because it's like, oh, we're fighting. Now we're all realize we're sort of not fighting each other. Oh, but I killed that girl. I get these. I would have liked a little more out of that. But that was my only complaint.
Two super athletes with it, 2 super soldiers basically with a shield. It's just...
John Walker is a freaking asshole, though. He's really a bitter asshole.
They did a great job with that.
No, which is great.
They actually made you care about him being, even though he's an asshole.
If they made him, if they just completely softened him up and just made him likable, lovable, whatever, it wouldn't have worked.
No, it was perfect. And you cannot see him or you cannot hear him on screen and not think Kurt Russell every single time he opens his mouth.
I've gotten past.
Oh, really?
I totally,
yeah.
I don't have a problem. I thought it was great. Why did not everyone's going to be nice?
Nope.
It was perfect.
And again, these people have been for however long, probably 2 or 3 years at this point, all basically working as cleanup people. Okay, for this war. Yeah. And they've been doing nasty crap. I mean, and that's the thing, which has not made any of them feel better about what they're doing.
And Yelena, you basically get that when Yelena's talking to Red Guardian, and she, you get the sense of, if they've all been doing what she's been doing, then they've all been doing really bad.
Yeah, I didn't realize before actually seeing it, it was going to be sort of her movie. I mean, not that she was definitely the lead, which I didn't see beforehand. which is interesting.
I think you get that in the last trailers. I think the last trailers are a lot of her dialogue and a lot of what we saw. And I think earlier it was pitched as a lot more of an ensemble thing. But it worked.
After Black Widow, I definitely got the impression she was going to be the new lead.
I have no problem with any of it.
No.
I mean, in this movie, I thought it would be more like a Guardians ensemble.
And I was surprised that they released that whole scene with the behind the scenes of her jumping off the building. And I'm like, why are they doing this? And I was actually glad to see it was literally the opening scene of the movie, so that I wasn't watching the whole movie waiting for that scene.
It's been in the ad. So it's just, but I think this was a Bill Buzz thing. And the woman jumped off the second highest freaking building in the world. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And argued with Kevin Feige to do it, because they cut that scene out early on, and she argued that she wanted to do it. And to make it, basically, when you see the film, to make it, analogous to committing suicide. Okay. It's like it plays in with the theme of the film. I mean, the idea of making a superhero film about dealing with and moving past depression. Okay. You said that 20 years ago, people would be like, seriously, that's what you're doing? But you look at, there are people that will connect to this, a huge swath of people right now, in ways they don't to a lot of these other films. Yeah. Sure. She said, I just look at my phone and I think of all the all I can think of is the terrible things that I've done.
So I have a question. What is her superhero character name?
She was Black Widow, but she was basically another Black Widow.
But they were all essentially Black Widow, right?
But I'm saying she does not have she replaced Black Widow.
Right.
Okay. And she does not in this incarnation have a designation, which is kind of weird, particularly when we get to the post-credit thing. I'd like to think by the point that they get 14 months later, they've got names other than their first names, because it's kind of weird.
Well, they all do Guardian, and she's the only one who doesn't.
Right.
No, Bucky. I mean, Bucky's name is Bucky.
But they
still refer to him as the Winter Soldier too.
Well, no, only they do. I don't think that's like a good PR thing. Let's not call me my Russian assassin name.
Okay. Yeah, call him Congressman.
And so Ghost and Red Guardian are really the ones that have,
Yeah.
Well,
and I got to say,
U.S. agent,
which they didn't even say. They don't even say that. So, but I imagine they've done that further down the line. They've got to come up with a code name for her, one way or another.
Yeah.
Because
I want an Avengers jacket so bad.
I kind of do too. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's a little Marvel clip online with Sebastian Stan walking around changing posters. Okay, putting new Avengers posters. You're like,
they're promoting it.
They are already promoting it now as the new Avengers,
and putting up these new Avengers posters over the Thunderbolts.
I haven't seen that, but I read that they're.
It's pretty funny. And he like walks up with a roll of posters, kind of like you, Dave, and walks up with a roll of posters under his arm, hangs one up, looks at it, kind of nods approvingly, and then moves on.
Look at what I just texted you. That's a giant billboard on a building in L.A. And this morning, when people woke up, they had rebranded the billboard.
That's part of it. And the thing is, they knew that was out. They knew that was going to be out within 24 hours. And leaning into it, I think, was smart.
Yeah, they waited 4 days.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
No, I know it's a little early, but you got to jump on it.
It's not though. It's like in this cycle, everything comes out quickly, and I think they're going to hook people into this movie. They're like, "What am I missing?" There's going to be people who dismissed this, who said it was just Suicide Squad ripoff, who are now going to get into this.
So
I think it's clever.
I wonder if someone on the RPF is making those jackets, Brian. I'll take
really?
If you find one. No, I'm sure someone is.
Remember
when they had those Dunkin' Donuts?
The Tide logo, the
Dunkin' Donuts Ben Affleck commercial? They sold those Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts sold those. Yeah.
They got a stack.
I was going to get one until I found out they were made completely of plastic.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're 100% plastic. So you put it on and sweat to death.
So that post-credit sequence, we'll jump to that, and then we can go back into the other thing. That was directed by the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they filmed it 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
On the set
wow.
of
How
Avengers
awesome
Doomsday.
is that? Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yep.
So here's the thing that I don't understand about that. If he said Sam has the copyright to Avengers, who are the rest of the Avengers with Sam if these guys are not with him?
Well, at the end of the last Captain America movie that was just out, it was essentially Sam wanting to put the Avengers back, to build the new Avengers.
We don't know who they are, though, right?
Well, we don't. Well,
Thor is still around.
If you can read the back of chairs, you can tell. But yeah, there's been more than one Avengers team before, and I think they're going to need everybody they can get.
So let's talk about that for a minute then. Okay,
team needs a deeper bench. I got to say.
I forget which one of you guys said that you think originally Fantastic Four was supposed to be released before this. That
I think it was
originally it was Fantastic Four first, and then
this Fantastic Four was delayed like 7 times. So
that make the end, the first end credit sequence or the beginning credit sequence makes me think you were right.
Yeah.
Then when the rocket rolls over and it's
that's
that
a
was
teaser for
Fantastic
Fantastic
Four. New though.
Right. No, but I'm saying that is to get you. That's to convince everybody they need to see Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay.
That's connecting tissue.
So my theory is the Fantastic Four can't defeat Galactus, so they have to go find the Avengers to help them.
Or they lose to Galactus.
Be in more than one movie.
Or they lose to Galactus, and they
leave.
Universes. They go to the next universe.
Universes.
They go to the next universe to warn them he's coming.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And so they get Downey Jr. for 2 movies at least. He's the new Thanos.
Right. Well, again, there'll be at least 2 movies. There's no question there.
Yeah. Right.
It's like I said, I like this a lot. I think it totally wasn't what I expected. In some ways, it's a smaller film, but I think they just did a great job with it. I don't think we've seen a Marvel film where you got the characters like this in a long time. I think you've got to go back to a Guardians film, really, where
where they build. Well, Guardians did it better because they introduced them. We've seen all these before, but they did. Again, the good writing. You kind of get a sense of all the characters who are on the board in a good way.
In a lot, and I know I'm not comparing it, but in a lot of ways, it was like the first Avengers movie, right? We knew all those characters, and then they put them all on the board, and then they put them in a really bad situation.
Exactly.
I talked to somebody.
There was a scene in this movie before we understood what was going on.
Yeah.
Where, they're century, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He's floating, he's dark, and he's killing people. You think he's killing people, and Red Guardian saves that little girl, and then he just blots her out, and you think I'm like, they just
really
killed
was like, did a Marvel
kid.
movie kill a little girl?
Or how about the thing with them all like, I think it was brilliant with that chunk of wall where Ghost, who essentially is a human being, dives in first, and then they're propping that thing up, and then they flip the thing over, and like the crowd's roaring, and like he has that moment of approbation, and he's
Red Guardian's just so excited.
And since he stood on the stage with Brezhnev, and it's like yes, we're
But then
heroes.
when he went and got that piece of concrete and saved that little girl, and in the next scene, freaking Sentry kills her.
Yeah,
I mean, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they just went there. Like that raised the stakes again. Like, holy shit, he's killing everybody.
Like I said, it was, and again, if they gave you like this little glimmer of hope, and then they ripped it away from you, and it was like, and when everyone
something else
came close to feeling, is again, the core thing of this film is depression, okay, and overcoming depression, and like I said, I think they did this in a really brilliant way, and again, I'm super impressed with it. I think it was really good. I spent a lot of time processing this film, and I'm probably going to go see it again. But they did some bold stuff in here. They really did. Because
talk for a minute about Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She was amazing. I've only ever seen her in comedy stuff, and she was just a killer villain.
She did
really good.
She did absolutely great. And when when you can dislike someone as much as you dislike her, but still understand her motivation all the way along, it was like she wasn't acting. This is your classic case of the villain who thinks they're the hero. Okay. And is totally despicable, but like is doing all the things that she thinks are the right thing to do.
And also always finds a way to come out on top. And that final scene where
it sounds very familiar.
I read an article that said basically she's evil Nick Fury. Okay.
But the way that she tricks them at the end was great. And you think she's going to get away with it. But then when Yelena comes up next to her and says, "We own you now," it was perfect. It was perfect.
And that was a bargain that she made. She knew that, it was
right. There was no point in exposing her at that point. So instead,
there wasn't.
We're going to use you. We're going to use it to our advantage.
Getting out in front of another Avengers team with her own Avengers team cements her power. Okay. So it's
It's interesting. I'm wondering where we're going to see where we'll see no, we're the Avengers. No, we're not.
Oh, I think
is that going to be
movie? I think
in
that's
Doomsday?
in the next movie, and then they just got to come together.
Yeah,
it won't be long.
Yeah, no, it won't. It won't.
If you haven't seen it, obviously we spoiled it for you, but you should go see it because it's worth seeing for sure. It's fun. It's got stakes. It's really everything you want out of a Marvel movie.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
It's the best Marvel movie we've seen in a really long time.
Yeah, Dave, you were right. They can make a good movie with the C team. But this is the D team, even.
People are saying, it's the best film since Endgame. I think No Way Home is a really good film.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
And I think Guardians 3 is a really
Guardians
good
3
film.
is good.
Also very hard to take in a lot of ways.
I haven't even rewatched that one.
It's a hard rewatch. And this is, like I said, it's one of those things that's in some way relatable to everybody. Okay.
It's the small ones are good. I mean, Endgame is epic. But the small movies
can be very, very good.
They don't all have to have galactic stakes and earth-shattering stakes. It can be something that's. This is like equivalent to the Battle of New York, but maybe not even quite as big.
Exactly. Not even as big.
So many of these films where the reach exceeded their grasp, and this one they knew what they're doing. They executed extremely well.
No multiverse, thank God.
And they made you wanting more of this. Okay, made it more. I gotta say, and Florence Pugh is one of the best actors that they've had, and they've had, they brought in a number of British actors in different roles, and they've always been kind of like Doctor Strange and whatnot. They've always kind of not transcended the role. She is a better character than the character she plays. I think she's fantastic. So
and I haven't dug into the making or the behind the scenes on this at all, but you haven't been hearing for the last 2 years about this being a troubled production and them having to do massive reshoots and rewrites. I think that they set out to do this one and they just executed it really well.
And this guy he's done music videos. I mean, he hasn't really directed much. Yep. He had a couple. He directed, I think, an episode of Skeleton Crew or something like that, but not a lot. And did you know the guy who Bob was also played Bob in Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah, I know.
Really?
And they made fun. I mean, they made the same thing. It was like your nickname, your Maverick name is Bob.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
I expected we're going to see more of Bucky in this. And I think they did a really good job of kind of balancing that because his character has had the most exposure of everybody there. And he could have been, while he was, probably the team leader, he wasn't the lead on absolutely everything. It didn't revolve around
No, I'm fine. My past was great.
And I think, that's what I'm saying. I think they made.
He doesn't even have top billing, which is interesting.
That's what I'm saying. I think they made really, really good decisions, and it works out really well. And I got to say, David Harbour,
he steals the show.
He's so
good.
And that, Valentina doesn't even know who he is. It's like, yeah, just great, and I'll tell you, with all the speculation about where Thunderbolts came from and what Thunderbolts was,
Oh my God, that was so funny. Thank God that
was
wasn't
named
spoiled.
after her Pee Wee soccer team. Is utterly brilliant.
1-0 games.
1-0 games, but the one girl pooed on the field. Yeah, it's like
really good, really good.
Yeah, well, at least now we know what the asterisk is for.
That's right.
Yeah,
You know what the asterisk is for.
Did you see that the drink container they were selling in the theater was an asterisk?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, no,
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
The other
That's
thing,
such a funny
thing,
that popcorn containers and drink containers in the past year or
it's
two
gone crazy.
is the thing.
The other thing that's interesting with this is on April 30th, they put Wheaties. General Mills put out a Wheaties box, with the Thunderbolts on it.
Really?
$20 a piece, $15 shipping, and they sold out immediately.
Oh, you couldn't get on the shelves? I would have bought that.
No.
But not for
They sold them.
$35.
They sold them as collector's items because it doesn't say Wheaties; it says Thunderbolts. And they sold them on their website. They sold out immediately, and they're $100 on eBay right now.
That'll be an RPF item too.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it'll say Wheaties because it did in the movie.
Well, was that a jacket, or I thought it was like a jumpsuit?
Was it a jumpsuit
I think
or
it's
a
a
coat?
jumpsuit.
It's hard to tell.
I think it's like a racing kind of.
It looked almost like a NASCAR suit.
It did. That's
okay.
exactly what it looked like. But I love the sponsors on the side. They had I said Tide and a couple
Tide, and there was
Microsoft. Was
and the
Avengers
Z
with a Z
sewn on as great.
Yep. My license plate's Pleasant with a Z, so it's like, I could buy into that. Like I said, I think it was great. I'm glad you guys liked it, and it's they're back, baby. We'll see.
I love Red Guardian. I would love it if they would make a Cold War Red Guardian movie. That would be the best. I'd love it.
I think it's funnier when
one of my favorite
prime.
lines was, "So which super soldier serum did you get?" "Oh, I got the Hydra one. I got Soviet one." "Oh, that's okay."
Not so good. That's Soviet one. Not so good.
No, that's okay.
They haven't made a Hot Toys Red Guardian, have they?
No,
I don't think so.
No, not up till this point. I bet you we get one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
That's
This could be an expensive film for me.
Okay, everybody, we got to give it a number.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if let's go through the list, starting with 2003.
Oh, we're not
26 movies you're gonna go through.
36 movies.
36 movies.
No, but the scale is Iron Man 1 is a 10, and
it's your own scale.
Okay.
Winter Soldier for me is a 10.
And Brian doesn't like Winter Soldier. So.
No, it's a 3.
That's why Brian.
Oh
is
my God!
Missing
Yeah,
film.
okay.
It's so dark. I can't watch it.
Dark.
Yeah.
Whatever? You could
we've had this discussion before.
What's a 1? Ang Lee's Hulk, but that's not in the universe. What do we say? Do we think is the worst movie in the universe? The second Thor?
No, I think the worst one is probably the third Ant-Man movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I read an article the other day on a website that I then blocked. I blocked it on my iPad. That had the 5 worst Marvel films. Okay, Eternals wasn't in there. Okay, Thor: Dark World wasn't in there. Okay?
I don't even count Eternals as a movie.
Guardians 3 was in there.
What?
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. It's like
was this PETA put it out?
Oh,
is that why?
It was insane. It was the only thing I agreed with was Iron Man 2. But anyways, but I'm reading this list like, what the?
What was the list? PETA and Todd Pleasant put out their worst Marvel movies.
Yeah,
list?
I think Thor: Dark Fate might be the one.
I think Thor: Love and Thunder is worse than.
Is it worse than the third Ant-Man movie? I think it's a toss.
I think it could be. I think it is.
I think there's redeemable things in the third Ant-Man movie, but there's nothing redeemable. There's nothing redeemable in Love and Thunder.
I've never rewatched either of those movies. So.
Oh, they also had the Marvels on that list, I think the Marvels
Marvels didn't get fair
it's a fun movie. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, what's everyone giving it?
I'll give it a 9. I loved it.
Wow, I was going to go 8.5 with the potential to get better.
I'll go. I want to see it again.
I was going to say solid 8, and if I rewatch it, and maybe it goes up from there.
I'm with Barry. An 8, potentially an 8.5.
Yep, and what was your expectation?
I thought it was going to be good.
I hoped for a 7.
I hoped for a 7 to
7.5.
7.5. That's what I was hoping for, and it was much better than that.
My expectations were fairly low until I started seeing the trailers, and then I started getting really excited for it.
Yeah.
So
I felt like this was going to be the one.
Yeah.
I hope we don't go backwards in the next one.
it's just nice to get a win every now and then. Like, I'm happy that I left a Marvel movie and wasn't like
I am afraid of,
because we've been either like
Fantastic Four.
the last Captain America movie was fine, but some of the ones that came before that were not great. So it was nice.
It was
to
fine.
see
Yeah, it's a little unforgettable.
I had a lunch
Or a
table
little forgettable.
conversation today with a coworker who's only seen a handful of Marvel movies, had no idea who Ghost was, had no idea who Taskmaster was, didn't really know, had a kind of vague idea that Yelena was attached to Black Widow, had no idea who Red Guardian was, knew who Bucky was. Okay, absolutely loved the film. Got everybody, understood who everybody was.
But probably would have enjoyed it more had she had that person had a little bit more background.
But that was it. But the thing is, Barry, we all go into this with all this kind of things.
You didn't need it.
She understood who everybody was. She understood where they were in relation to each other. Okay. And it all made sense to her. And so, that's a win for them.
Yeah.
Has Yelena only been on Disney Plus?
No, she was in the Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
Black Widow movie was not in.
Well,
the
it also
theaters.
got a theatrical release. It was just
but I'm just saying.
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
You did?
So,
Yeah.
I did. It was like
I thought it was released on.
No, it was released like seconds later, but they did release it in the theater.
Yeah, they gave it a theatrical release and then immediately dropped it on Disney.
Because I'm
Plus.
just saying, if somebody isn't, they have no idea who she is.
One of the reasons that movie was delayed so long was they were contractually required to release that in the theater.
Well, she sued them big time.
Yeah.
But it's also since been shown on like TNT or other.
No, I know.
platforms.
I'm just saying, but I wonder if someone who
It's
like,
also
I don't
it's
have
also
any
a better movie
streaming.
than people think it is too.
Oh yeah,
That's
good. Really
that
good.
is a movie like Captain Marvel. Every time you watch it, it gets better.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
good
Okay, where's
stuff.
Captain Marvel? Is she
and
in
the props
Avengers?
in that movie are amazing. Anyways, so
I wonder if she's going to be back. Brie Larson, not Brie Larson. Yeah, where's she?
Oh, Todd, I just got that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, that's enough of us. Brian, did you have something you want to show the group?
I might want to show off my my what's in the box. I got my jumpsuit from 2010.
Nice. What's it made out of? Is it like custom or is it?
Oh, no,
Oh, it's got a Western costume.
It's got a Western costume.
Nice.
It's named Roy Scheider.
Oh wow!
Really?
That's
It
awesome.
looks in really good shape.
It is. It's like new. It's like new. This was a backup suit. So whether it was in the show or not, we do not know. But it's in really good shape. And I don't, I haven't gone digging through jumpsuits catalogs yet to see if this was an off the shelf item, but it doesn't have any other tag. With the Western
I want to
costume.
see the flag patch. Are there 50 states or more than 51
It's
states?
probably more, I think.
I don't know. I have to count. It's got I think it's 50.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
It
really
doesn't-
heavy.
The black zipper, I don't know. I mean, it could be. There's a
Oh, you
million
know what? It's
jumpsuits.
got to be custom made, Dave, because
Gotta
it's
be.
got the Western costume logo, and that's it. There's no other label
Yeah.
at all.
How big is it? Is it like he was not tall? I bet.
No, he's not. It's let's see. It just says right on it: chest 38, sleeve 34, waist 30, inseam 33.
Oh, that's bigger than normal.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's long legs anyway.
He
But,
does have long legs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it will not fit me. But
No.
and and I know another reason it's custom made is because it's got padded shoulders.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think me and you are the only people who like that movie.
that's why I was able to get this so cheap.
Yeah.
I saw
I like that movie.
I saw 2010 on a date in high school, and we left halfway through and snuck into Beverly Hills Cop, so I've never seen the whole movie.
Oh,
You're
really?
kidding.
I like it. I like it.
He was
better
not
than
digging it at all. We
original.
were like, okay, it's time to go to see something else.
Did anyone? Okay, back to the Thunderbolts. The final credit song? Did anyone know what that is?
I did not pick up on
it.
anything.
Was "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now" by, to me, Jefferson Airplane, but Starship. It wasn't Jefferson Airplane. It wasn't Jefferson Starship. They had dropped the Jefferson. It's just Starship.
Yes.
What was also the main song from the movie Mannequin.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
At the Alamo, they're playing the music video for Mannequin. Pam went screaming out of the theater. I had to drag her back. And I'm like, why are they playing literally the music video to Mannequin with that song? And then at the end of the movie, that's the song.
Well, that song was used in one of the trailers, but decomposed and like with no,
Right.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. There was actually a spoiler for the post-credit sequence in the credits because
Yes.
the Fantastic Four theme came up, and I was like, we never heard the Fantastic Four
The
theme.
fourth theme? Yeah.
And then
I
there
saw
was a
that
post-credit
too.
sequence, and they played the Fantastic Four.
I'm surprised they didn't make that the early credit scene because it's the longest post-credit scene they've ever had. It had a lot of info, and it's way at the end of the credits.
Because they were
but
still
not a
working on it. They were
soul-
still working on
Not
it
a
while they were
soul
writing.
left the theater. I
Yeah.
thought people, because it was the short one first, that people would leave. Nope. Nobody left.
Yeah.
They were because they were still writing that scene while they were compiling the film.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, slip it in.
It's like the shawarma scene. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the pharma scene.
I mean, the other thing I'll say about my screening, we saw it in the theater I love going to with the incredible sound, and they've got the new high quality digital projector and all that. We saw the trailer for Tron Ares with the thumping sound system and the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack, and man, that looked incredible.
I agree. I hadn't seen it. I remember you described it, Barry, but I hadn't seen it yet. And we saw it in the theater. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's going to be a good
Great.
movie, but man, that trailer works
it
on a
looks
big
and
screen.
sounds good. I don't. Yeah, hopefully there's a story there. What else did we? I didn't see much. I saw Fantastic Four. I saw that.
I saw Tron and Ares.
We saw.
We saw the full Jurassic trailer with what the hell is
I
it
did
called?
not.
Jurassic Rebirth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
saw
hadn't
the
seen
Predator.
the full trailer before. It
Predator
was-
trailer.
yeah, I saw the Predator trailer also.
That I did not see.
He's a weird looking Predator. Face looks
It's young.
weird.
It's a young Predator.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, and I think is it one of the Dakota Fanning or
Yeah, it's
Ellie
Dakota
Fanning?
Fanning. Yeah.
I think she helps him, is from what the storyline is.
Is it Dakota Fanning or Elle Fanning? It's one of the Fannings.
I think it's Ellie. I don't know.
So she saves his life and then it kills her, like the other show. Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, that's it. Ironically, he kills her with the golf club.
Yeah, it's Elle Fanning, not Dakota.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. We could just go randomly about anything, but
Yep, we could. So
what are we
Kind
doing
of our
next
thing.
week? Something, I don't know, something good.
We're going to talk about the amazing 3 episodes of this week's Andor.
Oh boy.
I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to it, watching it tomorrow night, and I will say, best decision they've ever made with this show was releasing it in 3 episode arcs, releasing the arcs
I
simultaneously.
agree with you there. I like that. a lot.
I honestly, and Pam and I watching it, we only watched one Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because it was so slow.
We did
Okay,
the same
but-
I could
thing.
not sit through
You're
3
not
episodes.
you're not
of it.
watching one Tuesday, and Tuesday. Okay, so
Oh, I get it, but I could
That's what I'm
not sit
saying.
through 3 of them.
We've been watching 2 episodes on Tuesday night and then 1 episode on Wednesday night just because otherwise I have to stay up too late and I can't get up for work the next day.
It was just too slow. We almost fell asleep during the first one, but anyway.
I did fall asleep during the first one. I had to read.
Yeah, it was a little.
Okay, but
And if you're gonna
was
have,
tired.
you're gonna have a drunk, drugged out Bix, at least make her all sweaty and skimpy clothes or something.
No,
Oh,
don't
speaking
talk
of-
about my girl Bix.
Don't be, I was just gonna say.
Speaking of Jar Jar,
wait, you don't want to see her in skimpy outfits? That's how much you think of her?
Of course I do, but I told you after the very first episode, all I wanted to do was take care of her. She just needs to be taken care of.
You wanted to take care of Evangeline Lilly, and look what happened to her.
How many years are we post Rogue One right now? Pre Rogue One?
3.
Yeah.
So she's gonna die, and he's got to get over her in the next
6 episodes.
Or she dies right at the end, and that's why he agrees to go on a suicide mission.
Exactly. That's what I think is going to happen.
Or maybe he puts her someplace safe so that she could be safe and well cared for.
You know, ironically, that safe place is Long Island.
Yes. Yes.
I put her with the only real fan of Andor, Barry.
Yep, put her in the Rebel Protection Program.
Unfortunately, in real life, she's dating Aquaman. So
he puts her in the Rebel Protection Program in Long Island, and then hooks up with Jyn Erso.
He has nothing on you except for a body and full head of hair
and money. Yeah, whatever.
But he's probably stupid.
He's nuts. Oh yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah.
She'll come to her senses.
Yeah.
So the Light and Magic show, which is now over, was also fantastic. Even though I wish it was more than 3 episodes. Light and Magic.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I was talking with somebody yesterday, and I said I really wish it had been more than 3 episodes, but I thought it was really, really well done.
Really well done.
We're still. I'm watching that. Mobland or whatever it's called. This is the only.
I'm 3 episodes. I'm 3 episodes in.
This is the only show I need to turn the subtitles on because I don't have a freaking clue what they're saying sometimes.
There's people on that show, and it's like, what the hell
is that? Because of the British accents, or
they're speaking English, but
I'm watching it on my iPad, and I keep hitting 30 seconds back, and then I focus.
We did it last week, and then this week I had it turned off, and then Tom Hardy says something, and Pam's we have to go back to.
We have to put the subtitles on for Handmaid's Tale because they whisper so damn much. I can't understand what the hell they're saying.
The funny thing about this show, every other word is the F word and the C word, which I'm not comfortable saying, and the C word written out is that's even more.
I gotta say
harsh.
though, how much did it's Helen Mirren, right? How much she, after all the roles that she played in her life, how much must she have loved getting a role that's a complete sociopath? Okay, it's like it
gets better.
No, but I'm saying she's very against type.
Okay, all right. Before we keep going on and on, that's enough from us.
The other thing I'll just say real quick, that John Hamm show on Apple TV, that Your Friends and Neighbors.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that too.
I'm caught up on that.
Filmed in Westchester a lot. A lot of stuff filmed in Westchester.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching.
You guys watching the studio? I haven't found it yet.
Yes.
You
haven't seen it, or
I have not found it
great.
yet. No.
I think we're 5
it's on
in.
Apple.
We're 5 in. I'm
caught up on that as of this weekend.
It's really good.
I
think it has its moments, but we'll talk about it when it's all over.
It's all over the place, but that's the whole point. It's different things.
Yeah, it's a half-hour comedy. It's fine.
The most recent episode was really funny. The one with Ice Cube.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. That's the one I haven't seen that. I saw that last night. We watched. Funny. Last night we watched the Chinatown episode and the one after that. With the parking space.
Yeah.
So we'll get caught up.
Yeah. Okay. And thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
And thanks for being here, Brian.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks,
Brian.
Brian.
Anytime. I'll tell you wrong anytime.